Are you that person who leaps at the opportunity to take a free class or scour YouTube looking for instructional videos on obscure topics? When you find that interesting new skill, do you dive deep, binge watch every video, listen to every podcast, and check out every book in the library? Have you ever marveled at a person's ability to play a concerto, sculpt a sculpture, or catch a bass? If so, then this podcast is for you. I am Paul, the polymath, and this is CAST, Knowledge, Acquirements, Skills, and Theory of Learning. This is episode 1, and I would like to welcome all the skills collectors, knowledge adventurers, trivia ninjas, dabblers, and masters of their domain. I am starting this podcast for those rare people who are not just curious about how things are made, but want to make those things themselves. The person who can passively converse on any topic and who love memory games, metacognition, and the occasional single event learning experience. In this episode, I'm going to discuss the dabbler. The dabbler is a person whose bucket list is ever so long and their stories are fun and interesting. Who is a dabbler? Well, a dabbler is somebody who dabbles. And dabbling is an exploration of skills by collecting the beginner experience. Dabbling is all about the story of the raw emotions, the excitement of the new experience without the actual development of skill or obligation to take the craft any further than that first experience. Although everyone should dabble, people who are best suited for investigating and dabbling as their primary learning outlet share some common traits. First, limited time. Time is a scarce resource and people have to prioritize. Dabbling is a great way to collect life-enhancing knowledge and experience without investing 10,000 hours in achieving mastery. Curiosity. Although many learners are curious, dabblers are very curious. They want to get their hands dirty, take risks, and see what's on the other side. Open-mindedness. Dabblers are notoriously great listeners and follow directions well. They want to get it right the first time. Resilient. Dabbling is a great way to build resilience, and if you are already pretty resilient, you're going to probably be already engaged in quite a bit of dabbling. Adventurous. These are the people who yearn for adventure and seek novelty. Like with all of the different styles of learning we will be exploring in this podcast, a few rules apply. The law of accommodation. Simply stated, this is the ability to adapt to new stimuli over time. Routines can halt our progress, and mixing it up will stimulate growth by putting you in an uncomfortable state. Discomfort is fertile ground for learning. Be ready to fail. Failure is important. Failures lead to successes and learning advantages. So, what are the advantages of being a dabbler? Well, first, you can dabble while being engaged in other skill development without investing so much time in the new experience, leaving more time to develop a more intensive or important skill. For example, while attending classes and practicing to get your welding certification, you might go on a bungee jump or take a weekend trip to a belly dancing class with a friend. Dabbling also increases knowledge. When it comes to knowledge, direct experience gives you insights that are difficult to obtain through indirect methods such as reading or watching a YouTube video. Another advantage to dabbling is that the experience is more than likely a guided experience. An instructor is therefore distilling the essential information and giving you a better chance for quick success. One of my own dabbling experiences was snorkeling. I had many opportunities to go snorkeling and had actually obtained an open water dive certificate before I ever went snorkeling. The experience happened in Hanauma Bay in Honolulu, Hawaii. I rented the gear, and the gear rental center had a quick class on how to snorkel. Experience was fun. I remember seeing sea turtles and even a small shark. My time in the bay was limited to 2 hours because I was with a tour group, but I didn't want to leave. I've never been snorkeling since. I feel confident I could go again without drowning, and I would leap at the chance to try it again should the opportunity arise. This is an example of dabbling. I went snorkeling once. I can't call myself a snorkeler. I barely attained any degree of knowledge. I didn't have to deal with any adversity. I did not have to repeat the experience to achieve a greater depth of knowledge or skill. Essentially, a one-off tour with an easy and successful outcome. I would not trade it for another experience, and the memories and stories are vivid because the uniqueness of the event made them so. This is the best of the dabbling world. A dabble is a single event, minimal skill achievement, unique exploratory based experience. At the end of your Dabble experience, you will not be an expert, but you will have a story and an opinion of your adventure. There are a million opportunities to dabble if you are willing to pay some money or seek out day events. Whitewater rafting, tandem skydiving, wine tasting classes, zip line canopy tours, snorkeling adventures. Bucket lists are usually filled with dabbled experiences. One of the most common of these is a Napa Valley wine tasting. What can be learned from a wine tasting? My listeners might be asking themselves this right now, and I think it's a very valid and important question. My first Napa wine tasting literally blew the door open for the possibility of wine. I had never had a very high opinion of wine, and typically it was a drink that I could take or leave. I had seen Penn and Teller's bullshit episode on wine, as well as the documentary Sour Grapes, and I was under the impression that there was little or no difference between excellent wines and medium-priced wines other than the preconceived ideation of the experience that would self-fulfill. My experience proved to be the opposite. I had a worldview-altering experience that led me to understand wine in a new way. I gained an appreciation for high-quality wines, and my life was improved as a result. So dabbling is not deep learning. It's a preview or a survey. It can provide answers to quench curiosity and is often mixed with what the learner already brings to an experience. An experience is its own type of learning. Maybe you have an experience with a punctuated event that changed your life in a significant way. If this has happened to you, you were dabbling, whether you knew it or not. Home science kits, fun classroom experience, a day outing for a sport or activity, a new experience with media, such as your first encounter with a VR system. All of these are dabbling. I have some homework for you. Try dabbling in a new thing over the next 10 days. It can be intimidating to originate an idea for something so new, so here's a quick list of ideas. Cooking an exotic dish you've never cooked. Visit a local park or museum that you've never stopped at. Teach a pet a new trick or behavior. Try using an app like Dolly 2 for the first time. Donate your time to a charitable organization that you just found out about. Learn a new knot to tie. Hike a new trail. Play a new card game such as Baccarat or Follow the Queen. Try geocaching. In short, a dabble is an opportunity to discover your next hobby or passion. A dabble is a quality of life improvement with a very low investment of time. Be careful not to fall victim to Dunning-Kruger effect. Dunning-Kruger effect is an overestimation of your knowledge of the subject. Remember, you only tried the activity once, and that one time was for the exposure to the knowledge. No mastery was attained. Let's quickly talk about the downsides to the dabble. It does not make you an expert in the subject area. It does not replace deep knowledge. A dabble is an introductory experience without deep context or mastery. Finally, a word of caution. Single learning events in psychology are cases where permanent trauma can result from a single traumatic event. In psychology, there are cases where permanent trauma results from a single traumatic event. In extreme cases, dabbling could put you into a situation where you could experience extreme stress or pressure. Make sure that you have the correct mindset and that you strive for positive outcomes when endeavoring on a dabble. It can be emotionally intense. If you are at any point uncomfortable, it is better to back out than to put yourself into a negative situation. Also, know the difference between overcoming an unreasonable fear and an overwhelming fear. Just know that when you dabble, you should have the humility of knowledge. Be open to information and ask questions to enhance your knowledge, whatever they might be. Feel free to show your enthusiasm, and most of all, be an excellent listener. To wrap up this episode on dabbling, let's summarize the key takeaways. Dabbling is a great way to explore new skills and knowledge without committing to too much time and effort to achieve mastery. Ideal dabbling traits include limited time, high curiosity, open-mindedness, resilience, and a desire for adventure and novelty. The advantages of dabbling include the ability to try new experiences while still developing other skills, increasing knowledge through direct experience, and benefiting from guided instruction. A dabble is typically a single event with minimal skill achievement and unique exploratory and experience-based learning. At the end of a dabble, you won't be an expert, but you will have gained a new experience, knowledge, and perhaps even a short story to share with all of your friends. So to all the dabblers out there, keep dabbling and expanding your horizons. And to everyone else, remember that dabbling is not just for hobbyists, but anybody who wants to explore a new opportunity and grow as a learner. That's it for this episode of Cast. Join us next time as we delve into another exciting topic related to learning, knowledge acquisition, and skills. Until then, keep dabbling. If you would like to share an experience that qualifies as a dabble, please email me with your story at paulthepolymath@gmail.com. Please use the word dabbler in the subject line, and I might ask you to join me for a follow-up interview on the show, especially if you are a person who particularly enjoys this type of learning and might have some unusual stories to share with the community.
Yeah.